Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf, where we have found the door. As cold dread grips your heart and you approach the dark door once again. Ah, into the paths of the dead. This time, we will head straight through as quickly as possible, and maybe a couple of these ruthless dead will decide that pine leaf needles isn't worth going after. Just head down the road until we reach the other side. The cold air hangs heavily in this great open space. Wonderful. And we've got all of those spirits flitting all about, wanting to have a little bite of pine leaf as it goes. Oh, I really wish that river were shallower. With great relief, you emerge from the cave. Now you must find a settlement. And it looks like I found somebody here. Maybe he could help to guide my way. Hello there, Luthier.
Our lands were once peaceful.
How
It
did
is
you come?
now dangerous to travel far from home.
How did you come to be here? I must be mistaken, but I'm certain I saw you come from those haunted paths under the mountain. If that is true, and you are as mighty as you appear. I'm sorry, the idea of him saying that to a hobbit. The steward will want to speak with you. Yes, we are in need of hardy folk, especially now that Lord Duin here has ridden east. Follow the river Blackroot to the south, and you shall find a settlement called Morlod upon a hill to the west. There you shall find Mathelum, our steward. All right, look for Mathelum in Morlod. Yeah, like I'm going to remember all of that. You know, there is the river, so follow the river Blackroot to the south of Morlad. So we're of course in Blackroot Vales. That's what else are you gonna call a place cut out by the Blackroot? It's oh boy, rather swift river at this point. Oh, no wonder it's heading down to another waterfall. Looks like. Looks like this is going to take some time. I'm not too sure I've ever taken a nice look at Morlot from this perspective. But there it is, our little settlement on the hill. As we head into the village of the Dot. You have found Morlot as Luthier had described and should seek Mouthalum, and I'm sure that somebody will tell us where he is. A man waves his greeting and calls your attention. Alright, we have roving threats of western Gondor. Well, there is no way I'm planning on doing that at the moment, but so I won't be pinged with it every time I'll take the quest. The prosperity of western Gondor. Discover the various settlements in western Gondor. I suppose that makes sense. Now, who waved me over? Well, before I worry about waving over,
Gondor needs your aid.
I might as well handle a few important tasks, such as heading to the milestone. No more Rohirric ones. Alright, I could bind that one. Now, who waved me over? I will presume this is the one who waved me over. And this is Kelligdal.
If you are a friend of Gondor, welcome to Morlad.
If you're not a friend of Gondor, listen to my words and hasten your feet elsewhere. We have troubles enough in the Vale without you adding to them. Strange things have been happening here of late, and it has stirred in the creatures of the Vale a form of madness. I could not say what has caused it, but I know the creatures are oft driven into a frenzy when approached. I have seen beasts cast themselves at the very walls of Morlad for no reason at all, doing themselves great injury in the process. Do what you know? Do you know what I think? I think it's the whispers of death that has done this. But let us not speak of that now. It is but a matter of time before one of the beasts is driven into the heart of the city. It would ease my mind some if you could defeat a number of the frenzied creatures in the Vale, or the bears and birds that might be next. Yes, we might speak once again when this is done. Alright. Fine, I will deal with some of those creatures. And what else have we got? We have here... Ah! Mothalim. Mothalim. Alright, there is the steward. Hello there, sir.
These are troublesome times indeed.
I thought not, but death itself would ever wander forth from that wretched path. I now see my folly. Tell me, stranger, what has brought you to Gondor? Well, that's a long story.
These are troublesome times indeed.
These are dangerous times, Pineleaf, as I am certain you know well. Long has it been since Gondor faced such a conflict, and should we fail now, I doubt there shall be any battle left to fight. Ever since Lord Duinhir, his sons, and our warriors rode east to Minas Tirith, we have stood nearly defenseless. For our own part, we have held the line, but it has not been without cost. My guards know well what troubles face the Vale, and I would ask that you speak of them to them. One as skilled as yourself would be a powerful ally, should you wish to aid us. Alright, fine. Speak to Ecthel. Speak to Ecthel. Alright, that sounds like that'd be this guard here. Oh, what is this here? Deed bestowed. Quest of the Blackroot Vale. Yeah, I guess that's inevitable. So how many of these do I need to do? 35. And I'll assume there's only going to be one tier of that, since Blackroot Vale is just one section. So there's probably one for each of the regions within Western Gondor. So, hello there.
Gondor needs your aid.
I saw you arrive earlier, traveler, and I knew it only a matter of time before you came to me. The old man is a wise adviser, but he is not as well suited to leadership. What few of us remain have held these lands west of the River Blackroot, but our archers have grown weary. Ever since the orcs sacked Tingabel to the east, our troubles have only grown more dire. Belegant seems pleased by your arrival, so perhaps you should seek him above. Look for Belegant. Above? Okay, well, that's Uridor. Oh, these are potential other quests that we have. Well, that is... Right, so we're going to have a huge number of quests that we're going to get on top of this, I guess. Well, might as well combine things.
What news do you bring, traveler?
Hail! Pineleaf, is it? I and the archers of Morlad have been spending more and more time holding the Blackroot from the orcs. They stage raids from Tinglebell and have grown so bold as to approach Morlad. I assure you, none of them shall get past us. You see, the archers of the Vale are known throughout Gondor for their skill with the bow. However, we have fewer and fewer arrows each day, so I would ask that you travel to the field and return some to us. I promise that if the orc should return while you're away, we shall not pierce you with our arrows. Well, it is good to hear that. I don't want to be pierced with arrows. I don't want to be pincushion instead of pine leaf. Alright, now let's see. Let's see what else the steward has to say.
How may I help you, friend?
Pineleaf, I have served Lord Tuinir as his chief counselor and one of his most trusted friends for many years. It has for this reason that I was chosen to be the steward during his absence. Yet, where leadership came to him naturally, I have not found any comfort in the role. I am without counsel of my own, for none of the guards can be spared, and too few of the townfolk have any tactical knowledge. I would ask Lady Rosefin for aid, but she is disinclined to speak with me as of late. If you would, try to persuade her to aid me, for the good of the Blackroot Vale. Alright, so I will speak with Rosefin, and she is at the top, of course. At the top. So now, which one should we do? Now, we need arrows, and we need to deal with those creatures. So how about if we deal with those, have a little bit of action of that type, then we can come back. Alright. So we have this elf standing next to a reflecting pool. Yeah, that sounds like a safe place to be. Oh, arrows. Now then, at least we can find a number of these. And let's see how many of these are intact, which is of course going to be the real thing in here, because obviously some arrows aren't exactly going to get through all this undamaged. But looks like we have a few of them. Well, looks like I need 2 more arrows. Then I could look for those. Ah, there's one right here. Look for those frenzied creatures that are bothering everyone. Because I'm sure we shouldn't have too much trouble finding some of them, right? That one doesn't look very frenzied. That bear looks a little bit maddened. He also looks a little bit tough, but I'll have to find out just how tough in a moment. And yeah, tough bear. Big bear. Well, bigger than a hobbit at least, but then I guess that's not saying much. You know, let's get rid of the wounds also. Alright, we could deal with... There you go! Beast Slayer of Western Gondor. That means we're going to need to find a few more beasts before we finish that up. Ooh. 100! And there's probably an advanced version also after that. Yippee! Now, is that the only frenzied creature in all of this area? Because you would think that you wouldn't be so worried if that was the only one. More bears. Couldn't we have a frenzied canary or something like that? Bears are big. Very big. Oh, Mr. Bear, what big eyes you've got. Better to see you with. Ooh, Mr. Bear, what a big nose you have. The better to die for you. Interestingly enough, the quest says that this black bear, even though it doesn't say frenzied or maddened on it, counts for the quest, but we'll have to see. At least it's not as nasty a bear as the other one. Maybe they just think that everything's frenzied or potentially to be frenzied. But it counts for the quest. Ooh, and a couple of the creatures are level. Now, these goats, I can't believe that the goats. Oh, the goats count for the quest? You're kidding me. I was just joking when they're not even aggressive. That must mean that those hinds were also would have counted then? Boy. Well then, if all the creatures count, then let's get slaying. Now that I've made my quota of bears and other creatures to defeat, let's now turn in these quests. Hello there, deliver recovered arrows.
Well met.
Ah, these should do nicely. You have my thanks, Pineleaf. I told you we wouldn't hit you. There you go. And what do you say?
I have heard whisperings on the wind. Whispers of death.
Thank you for the assistance, Pineleaf. I don't know what has caused the madness in the birds and beasts of the vale, but there have been strange happenings here of late. If we learn the truth of them, we may learn what has so disturbed the creatures as well. I have heard whisperings of the wind. Whispers of death. Whispers of death.
The Hill of Erech has always been an ill-omened place.
Do you want to know what the honest man of Morlad believes? You may think me a fool, but I feel certain that some great evil came out of the mountains and sped with unnatural haste through the vale. On moonless nights, some claim to have seen the dead dancing on the top of the Hill of Erech. It's east of here. Is it true? I can't speak to that, but I will tell you that no one in Morlad leaves his door unbarred when the time comes to blow out the candles. You are more brave than I am, Pineleaf, that much is certain. If you have the stomach for it, a journey to the Hill of Erech might reveal if the supposition is true. If something did come out of the dark reaches under the mountains, I feel certain that is where it has gone. It has always been an ill-omened place. Ah, yes, the Hill of Erech. Which is right up there. I suppose I should make my ascent up this hill first before I try the Hill of Erech. It looks like quite a windy road. Around here, around here. And looky here, we have Belegant.
These are troublesome times indeed.
Ah, you must be the traveler that arrived today. It is true that the Vale faces many problems in recent days, some much more tangible than others. Word from the south speaks of something stirring the beasts of the Vale, but little else is known. I'm unsure if he knows of your arrival, but I'm certain that Landia would be pleased to speak with you on these matters as well. If you have a moment, I have a more personal request of you. Yeah? What's that?
Gondor needs your aid.
With all this talk of orcs, maddened beasts, and sightings of the dead near the hill, I have seen the morale of the people degrade day by day. We have brushed off the dead as mere ghost stories in the eyes of the people, but sadly, it is true. As a result, I fear that our people will soon grow weary of what may be a long conflict in Gondor. If you would, I'm certain the tales of your might, your adventures, and even a polite greeting could reassure them that not all is lost. Alright, fine. I'll see if I could run into anyone along the way. Meanwhile, let us continue up the hill because I would like to find the lady of this place to find out what is going on in that way. And we also have Landiach.
Gondor needs your aid.
Greetings and well met, traveler. I did not expect any to visit during such times, much less enter the vale through the dark paths. I am Landiach, ward of Lord Duinhir, and protector of Lady Rosefin. As you have heard, troubles loom to the south and east, and we are too few to move against them. Acting on one would leave us defenseless against the others. If you would lend your might, perhaps we can begin to push back our foes after all. Please tell Mathlum I would have you fight on our behalf. Alright, I'll talk to Mathlum on that matter. And here is Lady Rosefin.
How may I help you, friend?
Hello, traveler. Forgive me if I seem distracted, but my people are my sole cause as of late. My husband has ridden to Minas Tirith, as have my sons, so steward or not, I shall see my people through these times. Am I right in suspecting that Mothlam sent you? After all, he has already sent most of my people to me for the same reason. I shall not forgive him for abandoning Tinglebell to strengthening Moorland's defenses. It was unwise, costly, and resulted in many deaths. He is welcome to pore over my husband's notes, but that is where aid shall end. Notes. Inside here. Alright, let's look for the notes. I suppose these must be the notes. There you go. So now let's take these notes down to the steward. She handed me these notes instead.
How may I help you, friend?
She only offered these. I know she blames me for what happened in Tinglebell, and rightfully so. But I need her aid if we are to keep the Vale from any more harm. Let me think. If I can convince her to come down here, perhaps she shall see the importance of her counsel. Well, alright. What else do we have? An end to peace.
How may I help you, friend?
I am thankful the others had time to spare to speak with you, and I am sure you can aid them all. Landiach is a trusted advisor of Lord Duinhir and a friend of my family. If he believes you can aid us, I do not doubt him. It is true that I have made mistakes since taking stewardship of the Blackroot Vale, but to appear weak or unwise would undo everything Duinhir hoped for me to embody in his stead. Alright. Well, will he be able to reconcile with the Lord's wife? Will we be able to reach the summit? Oh, there it is, of the Hill of Erech. We have to find that out in the next episode of Complete Pineleaf.